Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra spoiler review. Time to catch up on more Bilgewater spoilers with Twisted Fate and the cards that were revealed alongside him while we're waiting for the cards to be released. Alright, so before we dive right in, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button down below for future content, and let me introduce you to today's sponsor real quick before we dive into the cards. Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN, one of the leading virtual private network providers out there. A virtual private network keeps your data secure and yourself anonymous while using the internet. NordVPN comes with super fast servers, allows you to unlock your favorite entertainment websites like Netflix. They provide a 30-day money-back guarantee. They also have an included cybersecurity suite, which acts as an ad blocker to boot. They don't lock any of your data, provide a 24/7 customer support, and you can use it on up to 6 simultaneous connections, so one account covers most or all of your electronic devices. And most importantly, they don't have any bandwidth limit, so you can use it non-stop without it getting throttled, which is particularly important for heavy users like us. It also won multiple awards and comes highly recommended by top technology experts. So if you're still surfing online without a VPN, now is the time to change that. Get NordVPN now, 70% off for a 3-year plan, including 1 month extra for free using the code ManuS or the personalized link in the description down below. And now on to today's content. Alright, so first off we have Pool Shark, bit of a misleading name if you look at the card, but it's more of a like metaphoric shark, I guess. So yeah, it's a 1-cost 1/2. When he's summoned, you draw 1 card next round and the card gets fleeting. So pretty nice actually, like a 1-drop that replaces itself the next turn. Is pretty nice. Although you have to make sure that your deck is either low curve enough so that you can make use of the card on the second turn, or that you might play the card like later in the game to make sure you actually are able to play the card you draw with Pool Shark. Certainly an interesting and decent card, and also plays well with Twisted Fate, as you will see once we get to him. Next we have Black Market Merchant. It's a 2-cost 2/2. When you draw an enemy card, reduce its cost by 1. And with Plunder, he draws 1 from the enemy deck. So there will probably be other cards in the set that have the possibility to draw cards from the opponent's deck, I would guess, or at least in the future to make this ability more relevant than just for itself. But yeah, this is actually pretty nice. Another card that replaces itself. It's a 2-cost 2/2 that both with Plunder replaces itself and also effectively only costs 1 mana, so to speak. So yeah, pretty promising card. It requires a bit of setup, but once you get there, this is a potentially pretty interesting and powerful card. Next we have Brash Gambler. To no one's surprise, this card shows up alongside Twisted Fate, the card guy, so that makes sense. She's another discard card, basically, that might pair well with Jinx, so there's a potential for like a Bilgewater Jinx deck maybe. To play her, you discard 2 cards, and on attack, you get to draw 2 cards that are fleeting, which is actually pretty powerful. Like, the setup is pretty hefty of a cost. The stats and cost are pretty solid, not above the curve, but yeah, basically a bull analog. And on attack, drawing 2 cards is really, really strong. There are not that many things that deny you this effect, but the most important and dangerous one will be Will of Ionia, obviously, because getting this willed is disastrous. But yeah, if you can manage to get like 1 attack in and make use of the cards, she's already pretty powerful. Even if it's only like attack, draw 2 fleeting cards, you don't have much mana left, but you rummage away the 2 cards that you drew, turn them into real cards, for example. So it's a kind of a high risk, high reward kind of card that might suffer a bit too much from cards like Will of Ionia punishing it, and also being situational, because if you don't have 2 additional cards in hand, you can't play her. So In the end, I think the cost might be, the upfront cost and restrictions might be too steep for the card, but we'll see. Then we have pick a card, Twisted Fate, which will also be Twisted Fate's hero spell. It's a 3-cost burst card. You shuffle a card from your hand into your deck to draw 3 fleeting at the next round start. So it's effectively like draw 3, sort of discard 1, which is pretty powerful for burst 3, but the fact that they are all fleeting makes it much more situational, especially early on. So it will only be good in certain decks and situations, but it is a potentially pretty powerful and cool effect. So yeah, basically like a cheaper, in some cases, similar to Progress Day, except cheaper, like Progress Day effectively costs 5. This only costs 3, but you also have to put away a card. So yeah, still pretty powerful draw effect. We're getting some more nice draw effects in this set, and interesting to see how they will play out, and this is one of them. Before we look at Twisted Fate, those are his cards. Deal 2 and stun the strongest enemy. Pretty strong. Deal 1 to all enemies and the enemy nexus. And refill 1 spell mana and draw a card. So they're all 3 pretty powerful. Oops, I forgot. Twisted Fate, 1 second. That. There we go. There's a Twisted Fate. When you play him, you play a Destiny card. So one of the 3 cards that I just showed you. The thing that is unclear is whether it will be random or you get to choose the card. If I had to guess, it would probably be random, but I'm not entirely sure. I think given that he costs 4 and is a 2/2 quick attack only, I think you get to choose, because if it would be random, that would make him a lot worse. If you get to choose, you can get a lot more mileage out of him, because his body is pretty weak. So if I had to bet, I would say you get to choose. You get all 3 cards as an option, and then you can pick one of the 3. At least that's what I hope it is going to work like. But yeah, 4 cost, 2/2 quick attack, pretty lackluster. I think he seems kind of weak. The cards are pretty strong, but the body is pretty weak and low impact for a 4-drop. When he has seen you draw 8+ cards, he levels up. So there's a lot of card draw you want to put in the same deck. So stuff like Rummage is pretty interesting here, and cards like the 4-drop that I mentioned, even though the risk is pretty high. Yeah, having to draw 8 cards is quite a steep requirement for a level up, honestly. Especially given that he has to stay in play and he's super fragile. So he seems like one of the weakest champions so far, probably. Once he's leveled, he becomes a 3/3, so gets a bit better, but still pretty weak for a 4-drop. And the first 3 times he sees you play a card each round, he plays a Destiny card. So technically, if you play 3 cards, you get to throw 3 cards around, basically, which is pretty cool. But yeah, once again, not easy to level, weak stats, heavy conditions here, and also not clear if the cards are random. Choose them. Not a big fan. I think Twisted Fate is probably easily the worst champion of all the new champions, and he might need a bit of buffing, but maybe I'm wrong, but that's my first impression of him, basically. So what do you think of Twisted Fate and his sort of rough level condition plus weak stats? Let me know in the comments down below. We are close to getting our hands on the new cards, so I'm excited. And yeah, you know the drill. Before you leave, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notification icon to not miss out on future content. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you would like to see in the future. And check out the sponsor deal in the description down below from today's sponsor. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm your host, ManuS. See you next time.